all I can remember is just like snapshots. Like I can't even remember like falling out. Like it just happened so quick and I was in so much shock.
Shine on me, shine on me. Shine on me, shine on me.
Hey Fizz fam, how's it going? Welcome back to the videos. This is going to be a little bit of a different one in terms of this news that we never thought we'd have to bring to you. I don't want to sound too somber about it. Obviously, we are really gutted about it, but first things first, first and foremost, most importantly, no one's hurt, no one's injured. Mia's not seriously injured. The other person in the other car is not seriously injured.
That's the most important thing.
Obviously, you can gather straight away that this isn't a joke. It's not some sort of a prank. Like, there has actually been a car accident.
Yeah.
Mia's golf cart is highly likely not repairable. I don't know. I haven't actually spoken to the person about it. Since the night when it happened, we haven't even been to go and look at it, because to be honest, we've just been trying to
I can't really face looking at it.
figure out how to come to terms with this. I don't want to make it sound more dramatic than what it is. I get like all what's like damaged is just something physical. So like it's not a person. So that's brilliant. And it's not that, I don't think it's that what we're trying to come to terms with. I think it's the fact that it happened, and it's the fact that, you know, when, like, you shouldn't do this. There's no point doing this. It doesn't achieve anything to try and say, oh, wow, what could have happened? Yeah. But still, when something like that does happen, you're just like, whoa, imagine if there was a passenger. Because the side that the car hit was the passenger side of the golf cart. And if which Mia did until like 10, I'll let her tell the story in a minute, but until like 10 minutes before that happened or something, she did have a passenger and the car would have hit them. And so it's like it worked out as well as it possibly could have worked out as far as an accident goes, just because no one was injured, you know. But like, if it was a slightly different circumstance, if it had happened 10 minutes earlier, then there would have been a passenger, and that passenger would have been hit like directly by the car, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I feel like with me, that is the main reason why I'm coming to terms with it, because it just like really freaked me out that happened. And it's knocked my confidence. I don't think I want to go on the drive now on the golf car. Yeah. That's how much it's affected me. And like, I haven't even looked at her. I haven't looked at Barbie at all, because I can't handle like thinking about looking at her, and just because I'm just really upset. We
haven't barely even discussed it. We discussed it on the night, which was like really late at night anyway. By the time all the police had dealt with things and the insurance and all that sort of stuff, then by the time me and Mia were back here, it was like 11 p.m. So then we were like, we all discussed it for a little while then we went to bed. Then we haven't really discussed it since then. We didn't immediately make a video about it. I know obviously we have to tell you guys, because suddenly Mia's not going to be in a golf cart, and so, because as you know, we don't really like putting bad news out there, which, you know, you could see this as a little bit of bad, but plus some good, because obviously no one got injured. But we didn't really want to have to kind of discuss it. When we say we don't bring out bad news, like, what we mean by that is that we're always going to try and find like lessons from situations and positive stuff, and there definitely is lessons in this situation. I've been thinking about it over the last day about what lessons there are that you can take from this, and perhaps I can mention them later on. But I'm disappointed about Barbie, obviously, that she may like be over, and like all of the energy and time you put into that, and the thought, because it was Mia's birthday. Mia's had it I think for like 6 or 7 weeks.
It's like Darren put like 6 months worth of work into that, like backwards and forwards with a person, trying to design it, trying to get it shipped here. So like Darren like spent ages like designing the car and got it here, and like loads of thought went into it, and it was like Mia's birthday present. So I feel disappointed about that. Plus it was like a lot of money, and it's like materials and things. It seems like a massive raise. So I do feel disappointed about it. But the main thing I'm disappointed about is that it actually happened to Mia, and like basically my little girl. It's really, really upset
and the other person
that she had to go through
the other
that.
car as
but
well.
The person is in the car, Mia's in the golf car, like who's the most vulnerable one. I'm not saying that the person might not get injured, but Mia was literally in a golf car and a car hit it. Like, that's terrified me. And then Mia can tell you more details about what happened. So she wasn't in the passenger, somebody wasn't in the passenger seat, like because Sienna was going out on the golf car with Mia all day. Ornella's back now here, and like Mia's been taking Ornella out. The idea of Ornella or Sienna getting hurt is really upsetting, but luckily nobody was on it. But something nearly happened to Mia, so she's obviously like she's got a little bit hurt, hasn't she, from it? Not a big injury, but she has technically got injured a bit. And Mia can tell you what happened, but it's like, I think it really shook Mia up. And like when she tells you, find out why. But just the whole idea of that Mia could have got hurt. Like, I know, like what Darren said, she hasn't, and there's no like necessarily any point to think about what could happen. But I feel like there's something biological in us humans to sort of process something, and you always think like, oh, that could have happened. And of course, I'm really grateful nothing did happen, and like I can see that there's like a miracle in it that she didn't get hurt. And that sun wasn't in it. It's like I always say that the kids are protected, you know, they're never ever going to get hurt, like good things like that happen.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of that it could have happened. The outcome could have been different. Karma, please let me talk to the Fizz fam, because we really want to. So like, yeah, I'm just like, as any of you mums out there, like you probably know like how I'm feeling. Like I'm just really shook up and just completely unsettled by the whole situation.
Yeah.
And
You should speak to Mia anyway, and then we should show you guys
We'll let Mia
and
tell you.
ourselves the damage, because I have not seen it all. All I've done is I've like followed it home while Mia drove it home, as I said, like getting on for 11 o'clock at night, and all of the I don't know a lot about cars, by the way, but like, so the axles are not lined up together. They don't go in a straight line. It looks like a crab going along. It sort of is slightly driving sideways, and it's got loads of massive scraping noises. So all of it is like bent up. All of the frame underneath it is all bent up.
Let's go and speak to Mia. You look really just.
I'm alive.
Mia's been acting kind of depressed, haven't you, the last like couple of days?
It was scary. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I wasn't even driving fast when it happened, which is like a weird thing. Like,
let's go Mia's room.
I was driving really slow at the time.
Right, what happened then? Tell the Fizz fam exactly what happened.
I turned left, and I just didn't see that there was a car coming on the other lane, and I didn't even like notice that it was gonna crash into me until it was like literally crashing into me, and I was like in shock. And then I like fell out the side as well, because obviously the impact like hit into like the back wheel, and it hit into like her like light on the car.
But the main thing is, Fizz fam, she's not telling anyone, and like I am actually annoyed at you about this. It was dark, and we have told Mia to come home before it's dark. Like Darren has told her loads of times, don't drive in the dark. But she hasn't said this, but she was meeting her friends. Like, you were out with your friends, weren't you? Yeah. And I think she was having a really good time with them, and like got caught up and having fun. And like you dropped your friend off at her house to pick her things up, and then you were driving back to the beach, weren't you? Because you were like having like a beach picnic and a fire and all that on the beach, weren't you? Having a nice time.
Something was missing from the story though, Fizz fam, which I realised once I was following Mia home. So I said, basically after I'd spoken to her, and I said, you know, she explained the story, she indicated across, a car hit into the side of her. I was like, I bet you didn't indicate. And she was like, no, I did indicate, even though the lady said that I didn't. And I was like, right, that sounds weird. It sounds like you've forgotten, you think you indicated, and then you actually didn't. But when I was following her back here, obviously, you know, to make sure the golf cart doesn't explode or whatever, you know, doesn't stop working, I noticed she didn't indicate when she turned into here. And so as soon as we got back, I was like, oh, so what happened then, Mia, when we just came back here? And she's like, oh, it was, you know, scraping a little bit and pulling to the side, etc. And I was like, and you indicated to turn in, yeah? And she went, yeah. And I was like, no, you didn't. And she said, I did. I said, no, you didn't. I was watching, the lights didn't go off. And so then I tried her indicators, and yeah, the indicator lever goes up and tock, it makes no tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock noise. There's no flashing light, there's no nothing. So I don't know whether this could have been stopped if the indicator worked, or whether she still left it too late or what, when she pulled, you know, across the road, and she's saying she didn't see the car coming properly. So there's multiple mistakes sort of happened here. Obviously, she's a beginner driver and is just not experienced enough, and I guess that's why this has happened. Even though there's literally, the reason like we trusted Mia to have this, she's 17 and there's literal 10-year-olds what drive golf carts around here everywhere, and you never see anybody in any danger. I've never ever known of anybody to have an accident. Mia's probably the first person to have an accident here since this housing community's existed for like 20 years. I know we've only been here for a year, but she's probably the only person to have done it. And so we're like, is it just because she's really careless or what? But yeah, the fact that indicator doesn't work is not good news, is it? Yeah. So I don't know whether that could have stopped it from happening.
You're missing a major point. Like, you don't, like, 10-year-olds drive golf cars, but 17-year-olds drive actual cars in the UK and other countries. Like, she's meant to be driving an actual car, like a motorway. Can you drive a motorway?
I could have a permit thing at my age. Like, I have friends who are my age and can, like, drive a car.
But I can drive an actual motorbike.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, Karma.
But I guess accidents do happen, and like obviously, how many 17-year-olds have car accidents
Yeah.
when they get their license and they start driving?
Bye-bye.
Probably loads. It's probably really, really common that they have accidents. I remember when my friends first started driving
Bye-bye.
in car parks. She'd like try and park a car and would like smash into other cars and take their like wing mirror off.
Oh my gosh.
How many times have you done that, Mia?
Never. I'm actually good at parking.
Are you good at driving?
No.
You can't really say you're good at anything now if you've had an accident.
Right, my lessons in this is that accidents can happen, and like obviously I don't want Mia to feel like really, really bad about it. Like there is obviously Mia's got to take a lesson from this and the seriousness of what happened. Like hopefully she'll learn from it. But like I don't want you to beat yourself up about it and like get really down about it, because at the end of the day accidents do happen. Even really, really like confident long-term drivers have car accidents. Plus also another thing we should mention, I'm not saying this has anything to do with the other driver, but in Costa Rica the driving is really, really different. Like when I've been driving on the road, I don't know why, but some of the Costa Rican drivers are like a lot more like relaxed in their driving style than in the UK. And like sometimes when they go around corners, they'll drive on your side of the road.
Yeah,
like
I've
they'll
had
cut
people
over.
drive like in the middle
So
of the
like
road.
Mia is driving in a country where people like just drive differently to what we're accustomed to in our country.
Yeah, every country that you drive in is different. You have to like acclimatise to each driving style in each country. But in terms of like Mia learning a lesson from this, I always feel like when something really serious like this happens, I don't feel like there needs to be any other like consequence to it. I feel like literally the lesson is just in what happens itself. I think that's probably the reason none of us have really gone on about it much. We've kind of just been trying to like come to terms with it, and I think that is enough in itself. Like Mia's not going to forget this, you know. Anyway, we can't bury our heads in the sand about this forever, so we're going to go and have a look at the golf cart and just have a see like the state of it. I feel like the main thing though is about in terms of obviously whether it's drivable, other than just like the aesthetics of it. Like the aesthetics, you know, is something, you know, if there's a paint scratch or whatever, that can be fixed easily. But when it's like that actual structural part of it, then that isn't something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually straight away I can see why it's all the scraping noise, because that wheel is like, you can see it's bent, isn't it? It's completely bent.
Wheel hanging off.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
Kind of like the main issue with it, it's all just like bent up. I don't understand.
Look at this
like
side, guys.
it's all like curved.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen this
I don't know
side
if
yet.
it'll
This
show
is
This
on
obviously.
side's the worst side. This is where it hit.
Oh
into
yeah.
the-
Wow.
Oh, I just got a spike in my foot. Yeah, look, you can see all here where it's
Wow,
completely bent.
It's supposed to be under there, but it's
Yeah.
got rammed
So
off.
that wheel
Yeah.
should obviously be straight. It's completely bent backwards. And then look at all of these scratches. Careful, Cara, I'm just trying to show the Fizz fam. All of this scratching where the car's obviously hit into the
This is where
side. I don't even know if you can see properly on camera, Fizz fam, but yeah.
This was the side it hit into my back wheel, and it was like her front, like the light on the right side of her car. So luckily it wasn't like a straight on, like right directly on, and like
So where did it hit? Like here?
yeah, it hit the back.
It's like
Right.
so
Yeah.
you pulled so you're
So like
driving.
I could, it was like this part of her car, like this is her
Ah.
light, and it was like that.
So this
was
protected you then, because if
Yeah.
it had gone in there,
Yeah, it could have been bad.
so even that was lucky as well. What do you think, Koa? Can you see? Are you going to get your handyman stuff out?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're the naked handyman, aren't you? You can help.
Can you
fix
fix
my
it, Koa?
golf cart.
I have
I
no
don't know
idea.
if it can be fixed.
No, I
yeah.
have no idea, because
'Cause it's-
sometimes with things like this,
I'm the naked
it's cheaper, even though it's well expensive, but it's cheaper
Yeah.
to like get a new one than it is to get them repaired,
We
especially
should find out though.
here as well, because they're from the US,
Car?
and I don't even know whether you can like, I mean, what would you do? Like, if you got parts for this, it's basically the whole thing
Because
needs replacing.
it's not really like something fell off. Like with her car, it's just the front like
Bumper?
light got broken in half,
Right.
and then like the bumper's a little bit broken on that side. So that can probably be repaired. Whereas this,
Yeah.
it's like it's bent.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
They can bend
Yeah.
it straight.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Hope.
Yeah. Also, when I was
Hopefully.
driving home afterwards, I was driving straight, but the driving wheel was sideways.
Yeah. Well, that's you can see what the wheels are doing.
Yeah.
Because the front, basically, your two like axles should be aligned,
Yeah.
you know, like that, but the back one's like that.
Yeah.
So
And then-
that's what it's
'cause-
kind of. It will go round in a circle. Well, at least you can turn really sharp corners. Imagine taking this bad boy to a roundabout.
Mia, you haven't even told the
No,
Fizz
no, no,
fan
no,
though
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
yeah, that's
seriousness
what
of
I
what
want
happened.
to.
Please, like, tell them because.
Sorry, I'm dripping in sweat now.
By the way, you two are wearing pink.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't
This is
really
blue,
choose this
actually.
outfit very well.
Well, it's
way
good.
too hot. It's
Look
way
at
too
you.
hot. I'm dripping in sweat. Anyways, yeah, so luckily I was actually driving really slow at the time. And then afterwards, the lady told me that she was driving slow as well. So I think that's why the impact wasn't too bad, because obviously she was in a car and it wasn't like on her side of the car. So for her, she was like completely fine. Like she didn't get hurt or anything. But I did, like, because of the impact, I literally fell out the side onto the road. So it was very scary, because then afterwards, like, it happened like so quick and so slow at the same time. Like all I can remember is just like snapshots. Like I can't even remember like falling out. Like it just happened so quick and I was in so much shock. I actually didn't feel anything. So otherwise I
Show
think
the
I
Fizz fan your elbow. 'cause
Yeah,
Like,
you don't.
yeah.
In
Luckily-
situations
like I literally
that,
didn't
you go
feel
like numb.
Yeah, I think like I fell out. You know how like people say when babies fall downstairs they go all like limp.
Yeah.
I think I fell out when I fell out. I was like completely limp, and it
Oh.
was just like instinct. So I landed like here on my butt, so it was like quite bruised,
Oh.
and then like.
Luckily,
Yeah,
that's
it's
nothing
Christ.
though compared to
But
what
like
could have
it's
been.
not that bad, and I feel like my neck kind of like and my
Yeah.
arm and stuff is kind of like pulled and sore, but like it's not that bad. Like
But you
I
haven't
was
told them
okay.
about what happened to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
golf car though. This is basically this is the thing that has absolutely given me nightmares and terrified me.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Mia's now about to tell you.
Yeah, so what was really scary though is when I was on the ground, like all I could think was I saw the golf car like wobbling and it looked like it was gonna fall over, and I was like in my head I was like I need to move because I could see that it was like gonna fall. Luckily it didn't, and because she wasn't driving that fast, I
Yeah.
think that's why it didn't, but it literally could have fallen over, and I was like
Whoa.
it
It
would
was
have
like-
fallen on top of me.
Mia said she could
So-
see it wobbling
And
towards her.
It was
Yeah.
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 It was very scary. And then the lady, she came like running out of her car to check that I was okay.
Yeah.
And my friend was also like, "Are you okay?" Like everyone was checking I was okay. And luckily I was fine. Like I could stand up immediately. Like
Yeah.
and
That's
I
what I'm saying.
stood
As
up
far
and
as
I literally
accidents
felt
go,
like
it was
Yeah.
a really good accident.
yeah, like in terms of people's
Yeah,
safety.
like everyone
Yeah.
was really lucky how
Yeah.
that turned out.
I-
It's still a horrible situation, but like, yeah, it's lucky how it turned out.
Like, you
But
just
yeah,
got-
would the indicator work without the key in? No,
No.
it wouldn't. I was going to show how it doesn't work.
Yeah, but why has the indicator broken?
I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I'm really confused.
Maybe the
But yeah,
babies when they play on here. Maybe the babies have broken it when they climb on the golf cars in the
I'm
day.
just weirded out how I didn't notice it wasn't broken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
about the careless decisions what you've made. Because I feel like anyone else, when they press their indicator, they would notice that it's not making a TikTok noise, and they would notice there's
Sorry,
not
I had to laugh.
TikTok. They would notice there's not a flashing light. So for you to
Yeah.
not notice that, I think it's things like that. You have to have your brain in gear to be able to
Yeah.
drive. You can't be like vacant in any way
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you drive.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mia. I feel like that's why I don't drive. It's just because I can't cope with all that.
Yeah.
I don't even
I
get
can't
how
cope
you like managed to drive home though. Like with the wheels,
Oh,
like
no, but I
how
wanna tell
did
you
they
something
spin?
funny? So you know how when it drives technically, but it makes a really loud scraping sound. And so yesterday my friend texted me and he was like, "Hey, I heard what happened. Like you had a crash because his big brother like drove past like while I was waiting for everyone like the police and the insurance men to come." And then he texted me. He was like, "I literally heard you drive past because it was so loud. Like it was so loud. Like did you hear us come home? Like." It was literally scraping, like it was a bad sound.
I was just laying in bed really worried waiting for when Darren's going to get you home. Yeah, I'm like we said, I'm just really, really glad no one got hurt. But just the idea of that, like, basically, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I just, you know, like when you're a mum and you go through the worst case scenarios. Yeah, I've been doing it.
So for now, I've got no idea when or even if Mia's going to have a golf cart again, because 100% we will not be buying another one, because that's just so ridiculous and wasteful. So it's just a case of whether it can be repaired or not, and that's like I've obviously got to find out with the guy who runs the company who sells them here, whether that's an option. But it's probably, at a guess, I would say it's probably going to look like it would end up costing more than what a new one would cost, just because of, I assume they would have to get like the parts from the US. So I don't know, Mia. I will ask, obviously I'll ask and see what comes of it, but it doesn't look likely.
So watch this space, Fizz fam, to see if Barbie can get repaired or not. Okay then guys, we love you so much. See you this Friday, bye!